Hey folks, it's Amy in the Crafty Cottage. How are y'all doing? I am live today. Woohoo! I wish I could move the cameras around so you could see all of the things that have happened in the Crafty Cottage. We now have, I know you all used to see my purple, um, it's insulation, my purple insulation on the ceiling. Well, now the only place you can see it is in the storage bins on both ends of the Crafty Cottage. So that's a plus that's happened, and the husband will be making this a we shed starting Monday. He's started a new job. He'll be working from home, and since we live in 264 square feet, and he'll need to have two computers and another computer for his job, there's no room in the tiny house to put that kind of equipment for him to work. If he could just work on a laptop, that'd be fine, but yeah, he needs two screens. So, and now it says we're having trouble viewing. Let me go check my Facebook to see if it's working. Let's see. Let me find it. And then if it is, I'll have to be back in a few minutes and fix it. Haha. Yeah, it says I'm live, but I don't understand my computer. We'll watch this for a minute, and I'm waiting to see if anybody comes on. You know, I don't know. I'm loving life right now. Get to spend all of my time with my husband, and it tells me it's having trouble still, but it still shows me on Facebook, and I've got a viewer. So if you're here, say hi. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. Let's see, because I will put it over there by the end of the day. So hi, what we're going to do is we're going to play with some sharks. And we're going to combine some scraps that I had from the Sand and Sea. I think it came out really, really cute. But anyway, I was going to use my mini today, but because we've rearranged the entire crafting room to create some space for my spouse, I don't know where the clear plates went. They were all supposed to be in one spot. They're not now. So, we'll just use the big shot today because I don't have the other big thing. So let me flip the screen so that you can see what we're going to work on, and we'll go ahead and get to it. Alright, my ugly mug is off. Here is the card we're going to do. It's using the entire Baby Shark suite and using some of the die cuts from the Sand and Sea. And I've also got the seabed embossing folder on top of Sand and Sea paper. So I don't know if you watched my prior video where I used this on the Avid card for the Sand and Sea. But when I did this, I saved the paper, and this is what I created with that. And I think it's stinking adorable. It's not a whole lot, but it's still stinking adorable. And my little white dots, that was a mistake. I was using what I thought was my clear Wink Stella, and it turned out to be my white Wink Stella. So we have white bubbles instead of clear. So we'll do clear today when we do the card. So let's get started. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'll put this over here so you can still see it. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to use. I have everything cut out over here for a change. I have a little piece left over from the Sand and Sea die cut. Let's see. I don't have it down to show it to you. But it's that big, huge piece. It's really big. It's as big as this. And it's got all the seashells in it. I just cut out a piece of it to put right here. And we'll color that in a bit. We're using Coastal Cabana. And this is just scraps that I had left over. Some Just Jade. And some Misty Moonlight cardstock. These are scrap pieces. And then we'll have a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece for the background. Then we're going to have, I've got just a half a sheet cut up for my white stamped images, my sharks and that kind of thing. And then I have a piece 5.5 by 4 1/4 of my Sand and Sea DSP. This is the back side. We're going to use this side today. I mean, you could use that side. Either or would be fine. Actually, this side would be kind of cool because you'd have the bubbles. And then you would have that sea stuff right over it because we're going to emboss this with the seabed embossing folder, which is super cool. I love this folder. It gives such a great, beautiful texture. And then, of course, we're going to use this stamp set, Shark Frenzy. And I could have had all this cut out and stamped for you, but I wanted you to see the dies We've got bubbles, and we have, let's see, we've got bubbles, and we've got regular bubbles, and then we've got outlined bubbles. We have some fishies, and we have seaweed, and we have, if you don't want to do the seaweed from here, you could just use a couple of these. And then we have our big shark and our little shark, and then we have embellishments that can go with it. And then this is what we use for our ocean waves right here. Alright, so let's get started in creating this card. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and emboss my DSP. I think I'm going to try this side because, you know, I've already got the other side. So what I'm going to do is lay it on here, and I'm going to make sure that I line up my paper with this line right here. You see the line right there? We're going to line it up right there. And then we're just going to run it through the embossing folder. And actually, that's not straight. Let me get that straight so it will work and look good. And I'm running it through the big shot because this will not fit through the mini. Now, all of the rest of the things that we're cutting out will fit in the mini. But because I can't find my plates, we're not running it through the mini. And that's the one thing with the big shot and all these new embossing folders and stuff. You never know whether you need extra pieces parts or, I mean, Stampin' Up! Has just made it super difficult, in my opinion, to figure out what you need because they've got so many different manufacturers using making their stuff. So some are super thick, some are not thick. So you just never know what you're going to need. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to figure out what level I need for this. And of course that's too much. So if that's too much, this should be enough. But apparently it's not. It's just running right through. I don't get it. I guess I'm not supposed to get it. Just having a frustrating day with, I had everything set up just the way I wanted it, and it all changed. So I'm trying to put a shim in now because I want it to work. Still not enough. I'm over it. Over it, over it, over it. Alright, I think we got it. Maybe we got it. Nope, we don't got it because I'm going to have to force it if I do. Sorry guys, this is taking a lot longer than it's supposed to. Maybe this is Stampin' Up's way of telling me I have to buy the other machine. And I don't know, are you like me? I don't want to buy the other machine. I've already spent enough money. Alright, I think I got it. Finally. Probably not the exact way it's supposed to go through, but I got it. I ended up using my magnetic board, my embossing folder, and just one clear plate. It was very tight getting it through, but, you know, sometimes you do what you gotta do. Let's just put all these back, because we won't need them again. So, we've got our sheet embossed. Yay! It's really deeply embossed, and because I had it in there so thick, it cut it. But that's alright, you won't notice that. So, let's move these out of the way. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to color it. Gotta get my colors here. I'm coloring it with my Stampin' Right markers from the 20, doesn't tell me on here? No. But it's this year's colors, the 2020 to 2022 in colors. And we're going to color them just randomly. We're going to do a little of both. So I'm going to take just the paint tip and I'm just going to glide it on these raised edges. I'm not looking to be perfect, and it's okay if it gets other places. I just want some of this dark blue to show up on these on the seabed stuff because it looks so cool. And I'm going to do it on the whole thing. And then I'm going to come back in with the Just Jade to add some of that green in there too. And if you don't know where it is, you can just run your fingers across it to figure out where all that color should be. And then we're going to come in here with the Just Jade and liven it up. I actually think it looks really cool with this paper behind it, so it gives it some bubbles. And I'm just making sure I get those trees, or those little, I don't know what they are, seaweeds, corals, get all that colored in, add that texture, some starfish. There we go. And now we have a cool background for the background of our card. Just move these out of the way. And that's going to sit on top of a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock, just like this. And it's Coastal Cabana. And we're going to I'm just going to leave it. I'm not even attaching it just yet. We're just going to leave it to the side. And we're going to work on our lovely little water first. So I have 3 pieces. These are all 3 cut at 4 inches wide. And I'm just going to take these and I'm going to cut them with this die right here. And I'm going to cut them in random heights. So like this one's the smallest one. So I'm going to go like right here. And then some of them I'm going to do this way. Some of them I'm going to do this way. So it looks like we have that kind of a wavy ocean effect. So I'm just going to do the first one straight and run it through our big shot. And I would have used my mini today, but my mini's plates are missing in action. And I'm using this bottom one at about an inch up. I'll try to give you exact dimensions. Really, you could cut them however you wanted, and then just place them on there and trim them up to fit your needs. So here's our first one. That one's going to be on the front. Then we're going to have this one, which is our Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to raise, see, we've got this one will lay here. And I'm going to go like this. And have it be a little taller. Let's see. So this is how I'm eyeballing it. I want it to be a little taller. We'll go like that. And if you need to, you can always put some washi tape on your big shots or on your plate so that it stays where you want it. Mine with the magnetic plate usually does a good job at staying where it needs to be. And if you can't hear me, I'm very sorry. We've rearranged all of the audio stuff as well. We're working on some other things. And we're hoping it works. So now we've got this one. And if you don't like the way it looks, you can always move this up and trim the bottom here. Now we're going to imagine that we're going to have this piece. And we need to figure out where it's going to go. And I would like it to go kind of like this. So you get that wave ocean wave. Now that may take up too much of my paper, but it'll give my tops exactly the way I want them to be. And I'll be able to trim the bottom. All right. Now we're also putting dimensionals in between these layers so that we have some dimension. Now see, I'm not crazy about the way this looks, so I would move this down like this, and I think I would move this up. So we would have this, and then I would trim all of these on the back to be even the way I wanted them. Just like that. That's how they'll eventually look. But what we're going to do, you could even trim this a little more if you wanted to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some color and some dimension on these. In this stamp set, there is a little teeny tiny set of bubbles. It is right here. This little guy. If you can see it, we're going to take that stamp set, or that stamp, not the stamp set, and we're going to stamp them in Versamark. This lovely Versamark. All over randomly on these pieces. Now, I do usually 2 every time I put ink on it. Now this one, I'm stamping it everywhere on it, and we will be putting our sentiment on this piece. You can do like I did and cut it out off of the white cardstock, which I stamped it in Memento, and then I cut it out on the white cardstock. So I'm just randomly putting some on there. It doesn't have to be a lot because that one's going to be covered up quite a bit. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm paying attention to making sure I get the edges, so that way our edges have bubbles, so that the C can be alive, you know? And if you look at this and place it, you'll know where to stop, so you don't waste all your ink. So you don't put them too low. And just random. It's not anything particular. And then we're going to go to this one, which it's got just a few over here that we're going to cover up. And then lots over here. And I also rotate my stamp so that my bubbles aren't all the same way, you know? Alright, so there's some more bubbles, and we've got the Versamark done. I'll put this to the side, and I'm going to take my clear Wink of Stella, which is this one, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of happy on these little bubbles. You don't have to do this part. You can leave it plain. But you know, I like a little bit of sparkle. And this alcohol will dry. It won't look like this always. And I'm doing it on all 3 pieces, so that they all have the same amount of love and attention. And like I said, this clear, or this alcohol in this Wink of Stella will dry up, so it won't look so splotchy. That's why we're doing it now. Alright, here we go. Now I'm going to set these 3 pieces to the side with this, so we can adhere it later and let that dry up. Now I'm going to take my white cardstock, move this out of our way, and get my big stamp pad out. And I'm going to get my big shark out, and we're going to get some Memento ink. Oh. Okay, we paused and we're back. Alright, now we've got some Memento ink here. I'm just patting up my little shark here. And then I'm just going to stamp him on here. I'm going to hold some pressure. Give it a few minutes. And pull him up, so we have a perfect little shark guy. Take my shark man off. And then I'm going to get my little shark baby. And this set has this cutest little saying of do 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 baby, you know, baby shark do do. You're probably wondering how long it's going to take me to sing that. But my grandson sang it the minute he saw the sharks, and he's like, "Yeah, Mamie, that's for babies." He'll be 7 on Saturday. Now I'm stamping my baby shark now. Okay, there he is. Now we're going to stamp the insides. This is the beauty of this stamp. It's 2-set stamping. So we're going to do our shark in Smoky Slate because, you know, it's a big shark. He needs to be an adult shark. So I'm just inking up my shark. This is the 2-set stamping, and this is the big man. Let me cover this Memento ink because I don't want to wear it. And I'm going to have to stand up for this. But you're going to lay this over. And I found the best way to pay attention to where you're getting this outside of trying to use your stamparatus, is making sure you line up his fins over here on the side. And boom. And you lay it down once you get those fins. You see my fins are lined up. Lay it down. And there you go. He's a little dark, but he'll dry out a little bit. And I may even take my Stampin' Right marker and color in these edges that it just didn't press down enough for it. So now I'm going to move that, and I'm going to get some balmy blue for my baby shark. And we're going to do the same thing. Let's put this gray away. Because again, we don't want to be covered in ink. I have on a nice cabbie shirt today, and I don't want it covered in ink. Alright. And other things to tell you guys, the new catalog's coming. I get to see it today. And that means I will have a retired list for you soon. Alright, you see how I have my little fins lined up? And boom. And I think I shook it a little bit. So I think it's going to unalign. Yep, he did, but that's okay. We have Stampin' Right markers. They're wonderful things. Balmy blue. And that's gray granite, not smoky slate. So this must be my smoky slate. Oh, that's basic gray. Where's my smoky slate? Here it is. It's still in the holder. There you go. Smoky slate. So what I'm going to do is, because I messed up right here, I'm just going to color this in to make it match. That's the beauty of our Stampin' Right markers. They match. Coloring in the spot. And I seem to have this little circle right here on my stamp. I think it makes him look cool, but, you know, because he's still got his little missing circles over here. But I'm going to color those in. It kind of gives him a little, you know, pizzazz and natural look. I'm going to do the same thing over here where I missed off a little bit. Just kind of blend that in. Doesn't make him look too bad, but you could always stamp and try again. It's not a big deal. Okay, now we've got that done, and I'm also going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment, which is going to be, I'm just going to put I love you, or, well, I'm going to put mommy, because you know what? I don't have a daddy. My daddy is not around, and I've got my mommy. And I call her mommy every now and again. She kind of goes, what? She's not so sure she likes that, but, you know, it's okay. But I may send these to, give them to my grandkids to give to their mom. You never know. Who knows what we'll do with this. But I lay this down here like this, and I make sure it's the way I want it. My little mommy's a little crooked. And it's going to be crooked because it's meant to be crooked. And then I'm going to pull these up just like that. And then I'm going to stamp them in Memento ink. Now what I will do is just trim this out once I'm done. But this way I can get all my stamping done together. Now you could decorate our little guys here. We could put a bow tie on them. We could put, you know, a hat, string of pearls. Really whatever you'd like. And since we're doing this as a mommy, I love you, we could go back and put pearls or a hat or a purse. Any of that stuff that you'd like to have on your mommy shark. There we go. Okay. Now, so since it's not a pink shark, I'm really not going to put anything on the shark. I'm just going to let it be. I don't know what you think. If you're watching, should we do a purse? Or, let's see, we've got a purse. We have a hat. Let's see, how I don't have enough room for the hat. I'd have to cut it separately and do the hat and color it. We could do that. Let's do the hat. Let's do the hat and some mementos again. And we'll do a Carolina blue hat just for my daughter. That way it'll match. But we'll do a blue flower. And we've got some alcohol markers here. And we'll put some of this misty moonlight alcohol marker here on this to make it blue. And then come in with the balmy blue. Should have been the Just Jade. Ha! Should have been the green. Just a mix of blending colors. It's okay. It'll be alright. But this way it kind of blends in with the background. We've got the Just Jade. And this is the light Just Jade. And I can get the dark. It's one thing nice about my changing of my room. Is my ink colors are all right here by me now. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to trim all this stuff out with our die cuts. Got the baby shark, the daddy shark or mommy shark, and the hat. Alright, I'm going to cut these out. Might need some washi tape to hold these down. Yep, we'll need washi tape. Gotta get the washi tape. And because I stamped them all together, I will have to go through twice. Okay, now let's get this baby shark done. Because it was so close to the other one, I couldn't cut it out at the same time. And this is why you use washi tape. But we're going to trim it just to make it look better, and it'll be fine. We'll hide the bottom part. You won't notice it because of the seaweed. And we're just trimming this out. The beauty of this set is once you get everything cut out, the card pretty much does itself. There we go. Now I've got to cut out some of this right here. Okay, now we've got our little baby shark. I'm going to put the hat on the mama shark. I'll wait till we put her together. So now I'm going to start putting this together. Let me move my balmy blue out of the way. And let's put it together. Get some dimensionals out. Don't want my foam, I want dimensionals. Baby dimensionals. There's a sheet of big ones. Okay. Got some dimensionals. We're going to start. Again, I'm going to layer these up again the way I want them to be. And notice you just see sparkle now. You don't see all that alcohol. So I'm going to leave those like that. But I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on this. I'm not going to put a lot down here because I'm going to trim that. I think it needs to be trimmed. So we're going to put a few up here. And then we'll add more underneath if we need to once we get the top laid where we want it to be. I'm also trying to leave my mess to be minimalized because I have to learn to share my office. And I know you all as crafters are feeling my pain. I mean, it's not really pain. I love my husband and I love spending time with him. But, you know, when you go in your room to get crafty and you're alone with your supplies, the last thing you want to do is share your space with someone that's not a crafter. Because you can't really talk to them. They don't get it. And I love my husband, and he is not a crafter. And he's not going to get it. He just kind of looks at me with 6 heads when I say, what do you think about this one? Okay, now I'm going to put this one on top of that. And I'm going to use my dimensionals again. As soon as I figure out what I did with them, even though they're right here in front of my face. And this one, I can do all the way. Now, if you wanted to do, before you put your dimensionals on here, and stamp and heat emboss your sentiment here, you could do that. It would look really nice that way. But I chose to do that, and actually I didn't think about it until after I had it all put together. And then it was like, well, I guess this is what we're doing. Hi, Tracy. I see you're watching. How you doing today? Can't wait till the quarterly meeting. How about you? Alright, now we're going to put this right here. There we go. And just like now we're going to trim this part off because I don't need it there. I have my snips. These ought to work better. And we're just trimming this off. You could go put this on your cutter. Whatever works for you. There we go. And this is just going to lay right here on top of this. Just like that. Nothing fancy. And I'm using glue for that part. Alright, there we go. Glue. Lay this down here. This is why I like glue, because then I can maneuver and put it where I want it to be. Shows me if I'm a little off, which I am. But that's okay. We'll trim it up. There we go. Trimmed it right up. Let that dry for a second. And this is going to go right on top in the center here. And while it's laying there drying up a little bit, I'm going to start figuring out where I'm going to put my sharks. We're going to put Mama Shark down here. And we're going to leave Baby Shark over here. Go ahead and glue them down. And I will pop up her hat. Just a little bit of glue. Slide Mama in right here. And a little bit of glue on the baby. Okay. And we're going to put a little baby dimensional on our hats. And we're going to pop it up on Mom. And this way, if I don't like it, I can just take it off. There we go. Hat for Mom. And then last but not least, I have all of these little pieces of seaweed cut out. So I'm going to set this to the side. And we're going to color these with some Stampin' Blends. And I chose to do the dark and the lights. I mean, the two light colors of the Misty Moonlight and the Just Jade. And I'm going to do a lot more of the Misty Moonlight because you don't see that much Misty Moonlight in this card. So we're going to just color this. Just go and color it away. And this is just on regular Whisper White cardstock or basic white, whichever you have is fine. And we're just coloring it. And then we're going to go back in and put more layers of color so it darkens in some areas and is lighter in others. But just color the whole piece over here on this side. And you'll notice there's another type of plant right here. I'm going to color that one Jade. And I'm being very careful not to get that other plant. It's okay if the colors mix a little bit because, you know, they would in real life. And then there's this little tip right here. I am doing the same thing with the Just Jade on this plant. And trying to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. And getting it up here and keeping it in spot because, you know, it's very hard to remember where my camera can see and where it can't see. But I hope you all are looking forward to the retired list. I'm not. I don't want anything to retire. Everything I have, I love. I don't want to lose any of it. But as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, it becomes a sad day because then you can use it, but you can't sell it. And, you know, where's the fun in that? You want everybody to enjoy it like you do. Alright, now I'm going to come in here and darken up here at the bottom. And just, you know, a little bit here and there. And then maybe like right in here in the shadows. So you can see that piece going through. And I'm just going to leave that be. And now the other one, I've got the Just Jade as well. The dark. I'm going to use the pin part. And there's a vine that's embossed in here. And I'm going to try to highlight that vine in this particular side. It's almost done. Alright, there we go. Now he's all colored up. And we're going to go ahead and glue this down. And I'm just using regular glue again. And you can see that because I used the wrong embossing folder, or embossing way to emboss my paper, it cut my paper. But see, you don't even notice. Once it's glued down, it just looks like a line in the paper. And I'm trying to move it over. This is why I like glue so much better. But that's a personal preference. You can use whatever you like. There we go. Now it's on there. Now I'm going to find a way to stick this in here. And I'm only putting a little bit of glue at the bottoms of this. Because I want it to be free and do what it wants to do. And I want it to be able to be seen and, you know. And I still want our little baby shark to be seen. But I kind of want to give it some dimension and color and all that fun stuff with all these waves going on. Alright, and now all we have left to do is take our sentiment piece, which is on our piece of paper right here, and just cut this out. And I like these snips so much better. So we're just going to cut it out. And I've never been one for wanting to cut words out because I'm really not that good at fussy cutting. I so love it when Stampin' Up! Gives us dies with the words that cut it out, you know? But I do have a scan and cut. I could do this with my scan and cut. But then that would be no fun for you guys to see how to do it on your end. Alright, and here we go, almost there. There we go. Mommy, I love you. And we'll just lay this right down here. With, let's see, did we do dimensionals on the other? Nope, we just glued it down. So a little bit of glue. And you pop it right on top for your sentiment. And again, you could have stamped the sentiment on there, and you could have it, he'd embossed it in white, and it would have looked just as fabulous. But there you go. There's our two different cards, two different sides of the paper. Same piece of paper, just each side is a little different. So there you go. I hope you loved today's little card. I'm going to post this in a blog post as well, and it will come out for you to see, and it will have all the dimensions and things that I used. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And for those of you who are interested, I will try to get the retired list out to you by the end of tonight. It should be out sometime around 11, so it may already be out. I just haven't seen it yet because I've been playing with you. You all have a wonderful day and keep watching. Next week, I'm not sure we're going to have our live on Wednesday. With my husband working in the craft room, I won't be able to talk. So I may do a silent live and then post the blog post about it later. Not sure how that's going to work, and I'm not sure what time we're going to do. So I will keep you abreast. Keep following the Facebook page, and we'll see you then. Bye, guys. Have a beautiful day.